Hi. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone who saw the guitar video. God bless you all. Didn't think it would get that popular, but hey, surprises are surprises. So what I've come to talk to you about would be a horror video I saw last night. Probably a good piece of media that I highly regard you go watch, that I will be discussing as of today over both as a piece of horror, although I'm not that good at that, and also both its things on theology because I really like it. I'm not just going to stand here for the entire thing and just talk in the dark if that's what you're thinking. Alright, here we go. Alright, so first and foremost, the video is called Religious Kids Cult TV Show by Groovy Grave Robber. Basically, the thing begins and it's called Little Lily and Urim and Danum. Now, in all context, the Urim and Danum were holy objects that the high priest would use to ask God yes or no questions about important things like war or national things, with them being lost after the destruction of the first temple in 587 or 86. So moving on, Lily's walking through the woods buggy until she sees one of her friends picking flowers and she goes, "Hey, son, what are you doing?" And the other girls explain that she's turning 13 today, and Lily asks what they're doing for the party. And she says, "No, Lily, you don't have a party when you're 13, you get turned into an angel." And she asks how that happens, and she says it happens by a redemption. Her mother calls her before anything else could happen. So she goes to her mother and a few days pass, and she asks, "Mom, what's redemption? My friend said she was turning to an angel. I'm pretty sure she's smoking crack." And mother tells her, "Lily, I don't know. I can't read that very well, but I do know that Jehovah turned your friend into an angel." Anyway, so I think you should go ask your grandfather about this stuff. So she goes to her grandfather's study, with her Bible being a skull, and asks him what's happening. And she says to him,
"Little Lily,
such a soothing voice,
the reason your friend Tabitha became an angel is because God Jehovah chose her for sacrifice."
You mean like when we kill the lambs at Passover?
Exactly. Just like the lambs we sacrifice at Passover.
because apparently God didn't die for our sins in this cult. And then he says, "Don't you think your friend's life is more valuable to Jehovah than a lamb's? Because Jehovah likes it when we sacrifice our prized things to him." Lily was happy to listen to her Bible. That's what it says in the video. And he goes on saying,
Thousands of years ago in ancient Israel, when Jephthah was the king,
in all clarification, Jephthah was a judge, not a king,
and was fighting against the wicked Ammonites. Judges chapter 11 says, "And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into mine hands, then it shall be, that whatsoever cometh forth from the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's. I will offer it up for a burnt offering." And Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him, with timbrels and with dances. She was his only child. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes, and said, "Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me, for I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back." And it came to pass, at the end of 2 months, that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed, and she knew no man, and it was the custom in Israel.
Besides that, he goes on to read Judges 11, with it being that he leaves out the full verse, with it reading, "The daughters of Israel go out and tell the story of Jephthah's daughter for 4 days in the year." And she asks him, "So Jehovah wants all the girls to be sacrificed?" And her grandfather explains that Jehovah doesn't want that because then everyone will go extinct. And so Jehovah,
In his infinite mercy, devised a way for a redemption.
he said the thing.
Wow, said little Lily.
You see, in ancient Israel, the priest had a special device that they could use to talk directly to God Jehovah. It was called the Urim and Thummim. The priest reached into his breast. If God Jehovah accepted the sacrifice of the child, the priest would retrieve the Urim. If the priest retrieved the Thummim, that meant that God Jehovah was willing to have a sacrifice of a lamb or bull as a redemption offering for the daughter.
Would it be that the judgment and the sacrifice would be on different times, but the
Living prophet Jeremiah
thought that this would sometimes make the parents wicked, with them trying to beg and plead to sacrifice animals? You know, the sin of loving your daughter and not wanting to, set them on fire, with them even running away, worst of all. And he says,
happy and blessed shall he be who takes and dashes your little ones against the rock.
now in proper context, the psalm is a lament about being exiled out of Israel and Jerusalem being destroyed, or for the woman out there. Basically, the man is crying hard on Babylon. But anyway, Bopple Boney says,
So now we use a gun.
said grandfather.
now I'm just going to say this out of the way real quick. Your mother. But in all seriousness, the way the whole gun thing is executed is handled absolutely perfectly. But anyway, Bopple explains that the Urim is a bullet and that the Dunham is the blank chamber.
Loaded into a gun that holds 6 bullets. The chamber is spun, and God Jehovah decides whether it's the Urim and he accepts the sacrifice of the child, or if it's the Thummim and he will accept an animal sacrifice as the redemption. Little Lily, you're only 11 years old, but once you reach 13, you too will have a redemption. And you must remember the most important commandment.
I think I know this one. It's to love God with all our hearts.
Honor your parents,
Damn it!
even when they ask you to lay down your life. That is the most important time to honor them, just like how the lambs go willingly to the altar. You too must go willingly.
I can't wait for my redemption.
Seems like a pretty nice church.